Streaming from Oklahoma's own digital studio, this is OU Football Update, brought to you by Brahms.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's time to pod again. Toby and Chris with you, and you got a bunch of cool pictures behind you. Where are you right now, Chris?
I snuck into one of the suites here. This is incredible. This is where I want to watch a game from next week instead of the press box. This is awesome.
You're not in my radio booth right now, are you?
No, your radio booth is not this nice and fancy, Toby. I can promise you that.
That's true. That's true. I tell them, make sure we lock the door so guys like Chris can't get in there and mess things up. So, all right, we're talking about the presser today. Brent Venables and Ben Arbuckle had their weekly press conference after the Michigan win, before the Temple game. Mm-hmm. Everybody's in a pretty good mood around Norman after Saturday, Chris.
Yeah, Toby, and one of the most impressive things today is both guys stood up there and talked for 15 minutes for Arbuckle, 30 minutes for Venables. Not one of them mentioned filming the media while they use the restroom. So not all coaches can say that this week, Toby.
What was Sark doing?
It was crazy.
All right, keep watering the bamboo. That's what I want to say to you, Chris. Keep watering. I'm not exactly sure what that meant, but that was the quote that I took away from the Brent Venables press conference today. I feel like you want to water every plant and tree, but for whatever reason, the bamboo is the one he picked out today.
Yeah, I like it. I'm not even going to begin to try to say why.
Can't argue with it.
But
can't argue with it. Also, pain is the world's greatest adhesive. That's been a popular BV quote the last week or so. He said that a lot, so that's a good takeaway too. All right, what was the biggest thing that you heard from Brent today?
Well, there was a lot of talk about Mateer and his legs, of course, and it sounds like that is going to be, as you'd expect, a part of the game plan all season long. And Brent talked about it when he first came in, how in today's game, in fact, he talked about it even before with some opponents last year. In today's game, you need to have a quarterback that can do it all. And so he said he wants him to be smart about his hits. I think everybody in the stadium wants him to be smart about the hits he takes. But that is a legitimate part of this game plan. Every single week is the ability for him to change the defense.
And he wasn't just talking about college football, too. He was talking about the NFL. He mentioned the Eagles and Jalen Hurts and Buffalo and Baltimore, and how all of these offenses now with mobile quarterbacks are winning Super Bowls and national championships.
Yeah, and they asked Arbuckle, when did you realize John could do stuff with his legs that well? And he said the very first scrimmage at Washington State, when Mateer was still a backup quarterback, they let him go live for a few plays, and he was breaking tackles, breaking ankles. And he said that was when he realized, okay, this kid has special ability to do both.
I would like to go back and watch him at Little Elm.
Yes.
And try to figure out exactly why everybody missed on this guy. I guess people blossom at different times, but it is amazing that he is as good as he is. It's very Baker Mayfield-esque. We've talked about this before, and that he was overlooked like he was. I liked what Brent had to say today about the defense. He was asked about how good the defense has been, and he said they've been great for 2 weeks, and that's it. He's not giving them any more praise than they deserve. They got to keep going. They got to keep getting better, and so that's why he's good, though. He keeps the pedal to the metal on these guys. Yeah,
it's almost like he said, now is the hard part. They know they're good, so can they stay just as hungry? Can they still take those steps forward and be critical of their own film and tape and what they improve? I love it. If I played for that defense, that's the answer I would want as well. I don't want someone going up there saying, I want someone who's challenging them, saying, everyone's talking about how great they are. Hey, all they've done is their job for 2 weeks. They have 10 more to go at least. So, yeah, I love it.
The letdown after the Texas win in 2023, I thought that was interesting. He brought that up with his team. I think we heard John Mateer talk about that after the game on Saturday. So 2 years ago, they had a good season rocking along. They have the great drive by Dylan Gabriel that ends with the pass to Nick Anderson, and they win Red River, and everybody's going crazy. And then it kind of fell apart, and so he immediately brought that up after the game Saturday night and said, this is a great win, but if you don't keep going, nobody's going to remember it as a great win. That's recent history to be able to draw upon to motivate his guys, it sounds like.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, starting 7-0 and pointing at it. And he talked about all of it. I mean, it's not just the excitement, but he said, look, who doesn't want to hear people say good stuff about them? I mean, of course you want to hear that. But that's how this industry is you get a big win like that. All of a sudden, every network is talking about you. We have nice things to say about you. You know the influence we have, Toby.
Sure.
With our nice things
Big
to
time
say.
Influence.
But he made it sound like they've gotten ahead of this, too. It wasn't just after the game. It was leading up to it. All along, it's been, hey, look, if we have the success early in the season that we think we should have, we have to be able to keep our heads on straight and keep plugging and chugging along. I think it helps when you have a guy like John Mateer at quarterback because he just looks unflappable by the positive and the negative. No matter what comes his way, it seems like it's the same approach every day, every single play. And there's several guys on the defense, Toby, that are the exact same way. Guys who have been in this system for 3-4 years, who have been with each other for 3 or 4 years, and have seen the highs and lows and experienced it 2 seasons ago.
Satisfy your sweet tooth with a Brahms old-fashioned banana split. Crafted with a delicious banana, split down the middle and filled with not 1, but 3 scoops of Brahms premium ice cream flavors. To complete this masterpiece, all your favorite toppings are poured on each scoop to bring it all together in a perfect harmony of flavor. Treat yourself to an old-fashioned banana split at Brahms, where every spoonful leaves you wanting more.
If I was Coach Venables, I would tell the guys not to turn on a television or look at social media this week because everybody is talking about them. Everybody is talking about how good OU looked on Saturday night. He started out the press conference by talking Temple, and I found that amusing, but on brand because everybody there today wanted to talk about the Michigan win, ask about the Michigan win. Who cares about Temple? Temple. You're going to win that game easy. But it strikes me, each of the last 2 weeks when I've gone to tape his coach's show on Sunday afternoon, we tape that at just after noon in his office on Sunday afternoons. Each of the last 2 weeks, when he has come in to tape the show, he has had to remind himself of what happened in the game the day before. Because he has been already, 2 weeks ago, deep into Michigan, and this week deep into Temple. He's been watching film. He's been doing everything that you do to get ready for a game, and has not forgotten about, but has put it to the back of his brain the game that happened like 12 hours ago. To the point where he's got to go get the stat sheet and the notes and look it over and go, okay, oh yeah, this is what happened. So. I mean, it is immediate, and I'm sure it's with all coaches. It certainly is with Coach Venables. The game's over. Yay. What's next? And you could see his brain today was like, Temple's better than they were last year. Keeler is a great coach. He's won national championships at 2 different schools in the FCS. They got an offense that's averaging almost 50 points a game. And everybody's like, wait. We want to talk about the Michigan win here. Who cares about... But that's a coach's brain, man. It's on to the next one.
And I think he means it too, Toby. I don't think
for sure.
He's not a guy that can just come in and blow smoke. I think he's seriously I'm not saying Temple went out and picked up a bunch of guys that are going to make them, playoff competitors. But he knows in today's day and age, year over year, especially when a new coach comes in, you can't look at last year and say we hung 50 whatever on them and won so comfortably. You're on the road. You're in a different, unique environment. It's going to be a huge stadium that probably won't be full. It's just going to be different. First morning game. All of these things that could be a hiccup. Now, I think it's just like week 1 where it's if OU does what OU can do, it shouldn't be an issue. But I also, Toby, I know people have been talking about why is Oklahoma playing a road non-conference game in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Especially when you're the one paying the other school for these matchups. But I also look at it and I go, wow, what value this brings to this team to be able to go on the road, go through the routine of travel, and then the quick turnaround to wake up and play in the early slot the next day, and to do it in this environment instead of doing it, in Tuscaloosa or Columbia, or any of the other 100 ranked opponents they have this season.
It's a great point. I don't think it was done intentionally, but it does serve as a practice run through of what's it like going on the road. You mentioned the early game time. They're going to have an early kick at South Carolina. Is that the next road game? I think it is. The next true road game.
Yeah.
You got Texas in there, but the next true road game, it's going to be an early kick at South Carolina. We know that already. So you get a rehearsal on all of this, getting on an airplane, staying in a hotel, walking through in a hotel ballroom or whatever it may be, taking the field when you don't have 85,000 people cheering for you. And maybe we take that for granted, maybe fans take that for granted, but as regimented as football coaches especially are, the ability to rehearse all that. You got to win the game. Don't get me wrong. You got to win the game. But SEC play is coming, man. And you're going to South Carolina. You're going to Tennessee. You're going to Alabama. These are big-time road matchups. So you get a run-through of what it's like to go on the road. So that's valuable. Maybe one other thing here, and then we can get out. But Michael Hawkins was brought up today. Mm-hmm. That's, I think, an interesting point that's kind of been pushed to the side because of all the John Mateer talk. They've got a plan, it sounds like, for Michael Hawkins, and we'll just see how the season unfolds, right?
Yeah. It's the red shirt is still on the table, and that's what's interesting. Is he said, every week you approach and you have him approach as if he's going to be playing, because you never know what's going to happen and when it's going to happen, but that they don't want to waste stat. You put him in for a drive or two, and then all of a sudden he's played 5 games, but only 10 drives, and you blew a potential red shirt. What'll be interesting, Toby, is what do you do then if you get up big in Philadelphia on Saturday? Do you say, let's burn one game of Hawkins and give him a chance? Do you put someone else in, and then what message to Hawkins? Just be patient? I mean, he's been patient so far. It's a tricky situation, especially in today's game. I remember last year there was a similar with Jackson Arnold when they benched him, and then there was the conversation of like, okay, if you guys don't want me anymore, can we save my red shirt? Can we be smart about it? It's just a different thing to think about and a whole nother element. I think at the core, of course, winning is your number one priority, no doubt about it. Brent Venables knows that, has not lost sight of that at all. But it is just a whole different, what do they do? How do they handle this correctly? It's kind of unprecedented.
I mean, I think the whole reason Michael Hawkins is still here, even though they went and got John Mateer, is probably because Ben Arbuckle sat down with him and said, you're really good. Mm-hmm. John Mateer sat behind Cam Ward and watched how this happens, and then he was the dude. And now look what's happening for him. And that can be you. So they have convinced him, sit for a year, we're going to redshirt you, watch John Mateer, and then in all likelihood, I mean, Mateer, has another year, but in all likelihood, if he continues to have this kind of year, he's off to the NFL draft.
Yeah. Then
Michael Hawkins takes over the program next year. So I think he's probably on board with redshirting this year. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of where do you get the games in. I don't think you play him probably against Temple. I think you reserve him in case Mateer gets dinged up somewhere along the way where you have to play him here or there and you don't waste the red shirt at that time. I'm going to get on my soapbox for a second. One thing that has to be fixed among many in collegiate athletics is the red shirt rules. In football, I'm not arguing with it, but in football, you can play 4 games and the bowl game. That's 33% of your regular season and the bowl game, and maintain a red shirt.
Yeah.
In baseball, if you get put in to pinch run, that's it. In basketball, if you get put in with 15 seconds left in garbage time to run out the clock, that's it. You lose the red shirt. So we need to come up with a uniform rule for collegiate athletics, or as close as you can to. That's not fair. That's not fair to baseball and basketball players and all the other sports too. So we need to get that unified. But anyway, that's not why we're here. That's not why I brought you here. It's worth keeping an eye on how they use Michael Hawkins, how they preserve him the rest of the year to try to keep him under that 4-game, barometer. Yeah. Chris, great job. You're
one
going
more
with me to
nugget.
Philly.
One more nugget from the presser, Toby. Can I give one more?
Yeah.
Ben Arbuckle wearing the hat with Jaron Kanik holding the wiener dog burger.
Yeah.
He said
Yeah.
that Kanik brought it by his office like 15 minutes before the presser. He said, perfect. Throw it on and go wear it. Loved it.
I loved it too. That was great. And we may have to get one of those hats.
Yes.
Coming up later in the week, I'll be joined, as we have the first 2 weeks, by the Temple play-by-play voice. So we'll learn more about the Owls, Casey Keeler, and the challenge that Oklahoma faces on Saturday. And then Chris and I are both going to Philadelphia, and we'll be doing reports on Friday night, probably with a cheesesteak in our mouths. Saturday before the game, after the game. So we'll have it all covered for you right here on News 9 and News on 6 Digital, news9.com, everything. We'll have it covered for you. Keep it locked in as the Sooners head off on their first road trip of the season. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching this Oklahoma's Own digital studio stream. Stay with News 9, online and on television anytime for the latest news, weather, and sports.